is 5 Minute Friday, and we are going to be talking all about superfoods. I have been really loving superfoods. Actually, not just recently, but for years, I have been using superfoods to enhance my diet. And this is extra important for entrepreneurs and travelers and digital nomads. When you're stationary, you can control your diet pretty well. You can get fresh produce and get most of the nutrients that you need from your diet. But when you are traveling, you may be forced to eat random airport food. You might be getting jet lagged or breathing recycled airplane air, exposed to lots of dirty hands touching the things that you're also touching. So you just have a much higher incidence chance that your health will get knocked down. So superfoods can provide key nutrients because they're foods, but they're super concentrated in key minerals, amino acids, nutrients, vitamins, lots of things that you might not be getting. And it's so important that we keep our energy levels at their absolute maximum. Our mind lives in our body. So if our body is not functioning 100%, if you're not treating your body like a pro athlete treats their body, then your mind is likely underperforming. And that is no way to be a long-term high-performing entrepreneur or traveler or whatever you're trying to do. So I've been experimenting with superfoods, and I also sent out a survey and polled hundreds of full-time travelers and digital nomads to find out what they always carry with them, what nutritional supplements and superfoods were in their luggage. And I got back lots of data, and I want to share with you what they use, what I've tested, and what I use. So I'm going to go in order of most popular. This is the top 10 most popular superfoods for travelers and digital nomads. Obviously, you can still use these when you're at home, but they're super effective while you're on the road. So number one, magnesium. Magnesium is involved in so many cellular processes in the body, including many steps of the Krebs cycle, which is the energy production cycle that happens in your mitochondria. So your body has the energy to go. And in many soils around the world, magnesium has been depleted. So it's likely that even if you're getting fresh produce, you may not have enough magnesium. So magnesium is the number one thing that digital nomads and travelers carry in their luggage, and I've started carrying this as well now. So you can get a spray or you can get an edible kind that you mix with water. Number two, green superfood powder. This is like getting all your fruits and vegetables all at once. So it's great if you're traveling. You don't know if you're going to be eating meat and fat only in Mongolia. So it's a great way to just supplement nutritionally and make sure you're getting everything you need. A lot of the blends have things like wheatgrass juice, moringa, spirulina, all the green foods are blended into one. So you get a ton of different things in a good green blend. Number three, chia seeds. Now these are actually pretty available around the world. I've started seeing them show up more and more in grocery stores in countries all over the world. So you might not need to travel with them, but they're really good for getting you omega-3 and 6 fatty acids, really good for hydrating. I make a chia fresca, which is hydrated chia seeds, lemon juice, sea salt, and soda water as a refreshing, hydrating drink. And I learned this from reading Born to Run. The Tarahumara Indians, the ultra long distance runners in Mexico, make this drink when they do their ultra long runs. Number four, fish oil. Lots of people really loved traveling with fish oil or krill oil. It has a lot of implications for cardiovascular and neurological benefits. I don't have experience with this. I haven't traveled with it myself, but so many people do that I'm considering doing it. Number five, coconut oil. Again, are you noticing a theme? Oils here. Chia, fish oil, coconut oil. Coconut oil has medium chain triglycerides, which are great for brain health. Concentrated MCT oil, medium chain triglyceride oil, is one of the ingredients in bulletproof coffee, which you may have heard about. And you can use it for cooking. It doesn't smoke when you cook it at high heat. You can also use it as lotion. It's great for lots of things. We rub it on the baby. Number 6, nut butter, also oil. So there's a lot of oil things. Keep this in mind. So personally, I'm a fan of these little Justin's nut butter, almond butter packets with flavor, like with honey or something like that. You can carry. You can throw a bunch in your backpack and carry those with you. So yeah, really calorie dense, oil dense food that you can carry with you. Number 7, cocoa chocolate powder. So this literally is the superfoods of the gods in the Mayan culture. Chocolate was money, and only spiritual leaders and rulers were allowed to drink it. It's super, super important. It also has magnesium in it. Lots of important other trace minerals. It's a very strong antioxidant. I eat dark chocolate bars all the time. It's my number 1 brain food supplement. Number 8, maca. This is also from South America, South American superfood from the Inca culture. Inca warriors would use this frequently. And in particular, there's different varieties. I'm a fan of black maca, which is supposedly the best version for athletes and men. It's better for muscle building, stamina, and focus. But in general, maca is useful for balancing endocrine health, which enhances libido for both men and women. I add this to a lot of smoothies. It actually tastes pretty good. Ashwagandha, number 9. It doesn't taste as good, but it's also very strong. It's actually stronger for my system. Again, remember, your body may react differently to all of these. So test them out. The dosage makes the poison, right? So do your research. But ashwagandha has been used in Ayurvedic medicine for millennia. It's a root powder. And I will also add this to smoothies in conjunction with maca. And this just gives this sensation of, let's call it fire in the belly. That's probably the best way to describe it. Number 10, shilajit. This one is weird, and I was not familiar with it before I did this poll. And it's basically an organic resin that seeps from rocks in the Himalaya. And it comes out in this black, ultra dense tar that's more solid than it is liquid. And it's very similar to the ashwagandha. You just take a very small pea-sized amount of it, dissolve it in water, and it's got so many trace elements that if you are low on something, this will probably top you back up on minerals, organic acids, organic molecules that you're low on. This also gives you that long-burning, fiery energy, and it's got an interesting flavor. Interesting taste. It took some getting used to, but now I actually like it. So it's very, very expensive. It's like gold. It's probably the most expensive of these things. A tiny little jar of 30 grams is $100, but it lasts you a year so far. So that's really interesting stuff. So let me know if some of these you haven't encountered before. So those are the top 10 according to the poll. Now I want to give you some bonus ones that I personally have investigated and use. So number 1 bonus, pine pollen. This is the only superfood that actually has testosterone in it, not just testosterone precursors, but direct testosterone. So I add this to smoothies as well, especially when I've done weight workouts. Obviously, it also increases libido. So be careful. Mushroom coffee. The Four Sigmatic coffee blends different mushroom powders with coffee, and it's this great thing you can travel with. It basically just extends the effect of the caffeine from the coffee and gives you sort of a nice, even all day awareness. So yeah, there's a couple different kinds that taste really good and are effective. Similarly, I travel with pu'er tea cakes. When we visited China, we went to the tea market of the South in Guangzhou and sampled tea all afternoon and got some really nice of these pu'er tea cakes. They're fermented tea cakes. It's like the whiskey of tea. They age them. It depends on how old the tree is and the fermentation process. Some of these cakes can be up in the $100,000 range. We got some in the $20 range that are super. They're really nice to drink, but they also are much more even than coffee, and sometimes are more effective for brain stimulation. For me, it's really important when I am using my creative powers when I'm writing or podcasting or things like that. So pu'er tea is a really nice alternative to coffee. And of course, I'm on the quest to find the world's best dark chocolate bar. So instead of bringing powder, I bring dark chocolate bars, and I buy them wherever I go. I find the stores that sells the local handmade dark chocolate, and I always have some of that sitting right on my desk. So there are some great superfoods that you can travel with. Obviously, there are local superfoods wherever you are traveling to. There's things like turmeric and peppers and spices and juices locally that you're going to be able to find in local markets or grocery stores all around the world. So take advantage of those as well. Keep those antioxidants in your diet, your phytonutrients, and all of those good things. And I know I don't have to tell you guys, but please don't rush into this. If you're going to test which ones you want to try adding to your diet or experimenting with, do them one at a time so you can tell what's effective, what's not, and do your research. Ask your doctor if you need to. I'm not a doctor. These are things that I've all experimented with. And so experimentation and finding what works for you, right? Because all of our body chemistry is different. These superfoods could be extra potent for you or not work for you at all. So yeah, just be smart. Also, I recommend cycling on and off supplements and superfoods. Don't use them for months at a time. I usually go 3 weeks on and a week off, that sort of thing, because your body gets what it needs, and maybe you don't need to be eating the superfoods. You can save them. And the great thing is many of these are powders and they last for years. If they're kept cool and dry, then you can be good to go. Obviously, the powders are the lowest weight for traveling with. So things like the maca and the cocoa powder don't have the weight of the oils. So consider that if you're a weight conscious traveler. So we'll have all of these linked up so you can actually check out which brands I use or people recommend in the show notes. And if you learned about a new superfood today and you went out and tried one of them, I'd love to hear how that went for you. And the best place to get in touch and interact with me is on Instagram. I'm on there pretty much daily. You can keep up with all the adventures. I really focus on the comments so you know what's really going on, and a lot of the things that I'm learning I'll be teaching in little snippets there in the caption on Instagram. But leave a comment or send me a message and I'll reply and tell me what you learned from this episode. Tell me what you're liking about the show in general. And if there's something you want to see, this is your chance to have direct input over what gets produced on the show, what 5 Minute Friday episodes you want to see, what interviews you want to see. And that's all for today's episode. So thanks so much for listening. And don't forget to be adventurous.